Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's actually 10 o'clock. I'm still in bed. It's very bad of me. I am awake. And I was awake earlier, but I fell back to sleep. I've got no motivation to move. It's rainy out there, it's wet. I was going to stay in PJs all day, but I think I might walk down to the village shop because it's open today and see if they've got any fresh fruit and chocolate, maybe popcorn for our movie. You hear how wet that sounds out there? Pretty grotty. Yeah, I'm just a bit sleepy and a bit a bit unmotivated today. I'm gonna help Kenzie revise his magnetism. He's thoroughly enthralled and excited about that prospect, but I thought I'd make it more fun by getting the magnets out and we can, have a play with them while we go through his work stuff. Yeah, that's about it really. Seems thoroughly motivated today. Thoroughly motivated. Oh, I'm gonna drink my tea and then throw some clothes on. Kenzie's done most of his homework, haven't you, love?
I've done a bit, yeah.
You've done a bit. We're just going to test him on his magnet knowledge when he's finished watching his video. I did offer for him to play with magnets while we did it, but he's not keen on that idea, so we'll just do a testy and then...
What do I not like?
Sorry?
What do I not like?
Didn't fancy me getting the magnets out to play with? Nah. So we'll just do it verbally. I'll do a couple of tests with him and see what bits he needs to practice on, because we've got a test next week, is it?
Don't know.
I think it's a test. It said next week. I'm going to send you the test. It's a wet day out there today. There's a little bird at the end of the garden picking up bits from between the paving slabs. I never did sit and think about what I was going to do over there, did I? I think it's going to have to be pulling up the paving slabs and putting more fake grass down, to be honest. If I'm entirely honest. Give me something else to hoover, won't it? Caravan hasn't got cleaned. You can see the caravan just there, the top of it, on the driveway. It's very old, very rickety. It was never meant to go anywhere. It was only ever meant to be extra space, but I was going to work on it with my friend, but he got poorly, and then unfortunately the cancer got the better of him over a couple of years, and yeah, that never happened. So it's not going to happen now, that project. It'll just stay there. I'll keep it clean. I'm thinking of putting a tarp over the top, just because the sky vents are getting old and muck is blowing in and I don't want them to start leaking. So yeah, I'll just cover it with a tarp once I've cleaned it. And the honeysuckles got flowers on it now. It's looking very pretty. The bees will be all over that when it stops raining. And the tree's got blossom on it. The garden does need rain, I have to say. Definitely needs rain. I put my little, what's it called? Capensis plant. It's like a Venus flytrap, but it's not a Venus flytrap. In the playroom, I brought it out here so that it could catch more flies, and you can see where it's curled up and caught itself some dinner. So it's all very, can you see the teeny tiny sticky dewy globules? Oh, that's a good word, isn't it? Globules on there. It shows where it's caught dinner. And then it curls up while it digests its food. There's quite a few. There's one in that little curled up bit there. It's not very easy to stay in focus. But yeah. It does like being, gets a lot of sun and it gets a lot of bugs sitting up on top of that unit. Right then, so if I read through it and we'll talk about it, it'll help you remember. And then we'll do the little testy thing, yeah? We've got remember your T's behind me. Okay. Move from one substance to another when objects are rubbed together. Okay, can you think of an example where two things rub together and static electricity is created?
Balloon and hair.
Yeah, I was thinking of another one that you like to do.
Trampoline and skin.
And another one that you like to do?
Slide and skin.
Slide and skin, because you like to give me static electric shocks, don't you? A charged object creates an electric field. So do you know what an electric field is?
No.
No?
I can't think.
You can't think. So when you've got magnets and they get close to each other, they pull, don't they? Or they push, depending on which positive or negative. So that's the magnetic field, isn't it? Where you've got two, they're trying to pull together. So, but if they were too far away, that's out of their magnetic field, depending on the strength of the magnet, yes? Do we understand that? It's at that point, you're in the magnetic field at that point where it can reach the other one object. Right, let's do a little test. See what you've remembered, okay? See how many you get. What are all substances made from? Atoms, electrons or circles?
Well, an atom's made up of electrons, so...
Okay, so which one are you going to go for?
The atoms, because they probably didn't know my intellect.
So you're going to tell me we're not all made of circles?
Electricity.
Lightning, electromagnets or friction?
Good
choice. What will happen to two objects with the same static charge? They will repel. What will happen to two objects with the opposite static charge? They will attract. What happens to an atom if it loses an electron? Becomes positive. Which part? 9 out of 10. Which one did we get wrong? So, atom, yes, they are made out of it. Which one did we get wrong? Oh, really? Is it not friction? I would have said that. Oh, okay, which is an example of the build-up of static electricity? We said friction. Lightning is an example of static electricity build-up. Friction causes static electricity, but is not an example of it. Really? Oh, that was a tricky one. In electric wires, these particles are electrons. Okay, so you envisage in your head an electric wire with electrons in it, okay? We get an electric current when these charged particles move from place to place. So picture your phone being charged up. It goes from the plug socket, it's moving along the cable. You just imagine you plugged it in.
I can't think.
Okay, because if you have an image, it helps you remember things. So, and then imagine your little electron going along into your phone, okay? Yeah? An electric current is a flow of charge. And in a wire, this will be a flow of electrons. So the electric current charging your phone is lots of little electrons going from the plug to your phone. Yeah?
The electric current flows through all of the components in turn. Here, the row of bulbs and the fairy lights, until it gets back to where it started from.
So, battery, wires, bulb. With a break in the middle. If I was to stick this cushion in the break, would it light up the bulb?
No.
Would that mean it's an insulator or a conductor?
Insulator.
Insulator. If I was to put... Can you think of something? What would you put?
I can't think of anything.
I know, you're sleepy, aren't you? Certain metals wouldn't they? Certain metals.
Copper, magnesium, aluminium, zinc.
They would all conduct it, or
I don't
would they
know.
insulate it? Well,
Bit of both.
Copper is a wire that we use in our wires, isn't it? So it's a good chance copper would be a conductor. Right, you've done lots. Well done. Right, let's just do this test, shall we? We'll see how well.
Oh.
There's a test at the end. Right, should we see how well you did? 10 out of 10, my lad. So even though you were half asleep through... Did you fall asleep while I was talking to you?
No, I zoned out.
You zoned out. We still got 10 out of 10. Is my teaching that boring?
No, I just can't think properly.
I know, you're so tired, aren't you? Should we go for a walk in the rain?
It's like I'm really tired, it's just that
You can't
I can't think properly.
because you had no sleep.
Because I had 2 hours
That was
instead of my initial, supposed to have 8 hours.
Yeah. Your optimal sleep
I never have 8 hours, but I get enough to...
function.
Yeah.
Well, I'm proud. You did very well. I think you're ready for your test next week. So, why don't you throw some clothes on and we'll go for a walk in the rain and we'll go via the shop and get some popcorn for our movie. Yes?
Can I get an energy drink?
No.
Like glucose or something?
No. I don't want you having too many of those because they're really not good for you. Okay? Especially not when you're young. I don't mind if we've done like a huge walk because you need to replenish your electrolytes, but not if it's a little walk. All right, we'll just do the little loop, yeah? Yeah. Okay. Rainy day. Kenzie and I are going to have our walk, even though it's raining. You wet? Oh, there's definitely a nip in the air today. It's definitely dropped quite a few degrees. So it has been about 22, 23. And now, I don't know what it is now, but it was estimated to not get any higher than about 11. So, even though I'm warm, my very thin trousers mean my legs are cold. Aptly dressed in my penguin hoodie to keep me warm on a cold day. Oreo chocolate. Dime bar chocolate. Brendan, Kenzie, put these away, please. Excellent. Cocoa Pops, little treat for you, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm having a caramel one.
Not all in one go.
No.
Half a day.
I mean, there's not enough got in there, really.
You can have half one day, half another day. Okay. Same price, but it's smaller. It's because of the sugar tax.
If it were bigger, if it were the same size exactly, it would cost more. So
Another
they
prezzy
would
for
cost-
Lee.
No, it's the same. 55 grams, 55
Oh,
grams.
is it? Oh, it feels like there's less. Maybe sugar's heavier. We picked our movie. You said you haven't seen it, have you? Evolution. Love this movie. Very funny. Brendan, you're joining us, aren't you?
Yeah, I overcooked my sausage roll.
You overcooked your sausage roll. How long did you put it in for?
1.5 minutes.
Oh, really?
It'll take a lot longer than that.
Yeah, well, we had 2 in there, didn't we?
Yeah, it's a little bit soggy now.
Right, telly's not on, boys. And while they do that, I'm also going to clean out this cupboard and sort the DVDs into genres, groups, and all that jazz. Right, that's the big old mess it currently is. And then I'm going to put it all in groups.
Testing 1 2 1 2 1 1 1 1 2.
There we go. That's better. Resistance.
This.
Well done.
Can
Electromagnet.
be switched on or off.
Okay. Well done.
Why do magnets exert magnetic?
Where do magnets exert magnetic force? Only on metals, everywhere, on any object close to them, within their magnetic fields. Don't tell him the answer. He has to work out. Brendan, can you leave, please?
I looked at it.
Brendan, can you leave, please? Atoms contain negative particles called...
Electrons.
Well done. Sorry? Yes.
Done.
Well done. 100%.
You said something about
We made hot chocolate.
the cappuccino things being nice and hot chocolate.
Ah, that's what made you think of hot chocolate. Kenzie and I have got together a folder of subjects of work he's completed because his sheets were going everywhere, and you're getting yourself in a bit of a kerfuffle, weren't you, over what you'd completed and what you hadn't. So we're making sure everything's getting printed out and stapled together and put in a folder. We've got our 2 toilet rolls. We've got our kitchen roll, very, very useful. We have pasta. We have grapes. New potatoes, they went down well. Carrots. Green beans, I'll eat those. More onions, we didn't need more onions, but there we go. Pita bread. What's that? Tuna. Tomato soup. Country garden soup. Vegetable couscous. Butter. Oh, fresh soup. I love this stuff. That's me sorted. Butternut squash soup. Some milk. I've got loads in this one. I'm well impressed with this. Cheddar. Chicken breast. Sausages. Minced beef. And unsmoked back bacon. Lovely. Loads of stuff for £30. Was it 30 or 35? Either way, shed loads. Well, that was hard going. We've just spent probably 45 minutes doing his dance work. Now, they've always said he's very good at dance and he's very good at drama, which surprises me because he doesn't like dancing and he doesn't like being centre of attention. They say he comes up with good ideas and things like that. So, but he says it's when he's working with Connor and Louis. They're more the ideas people and he's just good at going along with their ideas. So I think this might be flagging up some difficulty for him working on his own. So we've had to watch an 8-minute dance called The Orphanage, and then he's had to interpret it to say basically how does the dance portray the idea and how do the dancers portray the idea, and this is really difficult. I find it difficult because I'm not a dancer. I'm not interested in dance, so that's very difficult. And he found it very difficult because he finds it hard just to interpret text, let alone something that is creative and open to interpretation. That makes it even harder. So we really struggled with that. I basically said, you tell me and I will type, because well, you saw he struggled. He's had very little sleep and he's really struggled. He's still got 2 pieces of work to do, which he's going to do tomorrow, which are just sheet work. Thankfully it's nothing too taxing, I don't think. But yeah, he's just struggled today because he's so tired. So it's me yawning, and I know how that feels because he's just done exactly what I did the night before, or not the night before, but you know, last week, where I woke up at 1, went to sleep at 1, woke at 3, and then was up for the rest of the night. So I fully, he looks shattered, bless him. He really doesn't look like he's functioning anymore. So we struggled through this because apparently he'd already done it once on the computer before I changed the hard drive, and then I've changed the hard drive and it's not there anymore, obviously. I wasn't aware there was a bit of work on there, but I don't think he really did do the work properly because he struggled so hard to redo it with me. So he's had to do a mind map of ideas with stimulus for a dance on the theme of having fun, I think he chose. So yeah, he's finding it difficult, but we'll work on the other half of it tomorrow because this is actually last week's homework that we were redoing. And now we're gonna do this week's work today. It's an ongoing piece that we then have to submit. But he did get 100% in his science. So me sitting with him and going through electromagnetism, even though he looked tired and didn't look like he was necessarily taking it in, he did. And the little tests we did and a little bit of video we watched, it's definitely gone in, because he has 3 attempts to do this. I think he got 60 something percent, 97%, and then he got 100% on the last one. And some of that first one was because that first one being so low was because he clicked on things, not the answer he said. He was too quick with his fingers and clicked on one that wasn't what he actually originally said to me. He clicked on a different answer. So yeah, I feel like we're getting it. I think me being more involved in his learning is going to be the way forward, because I've just kind of left him to it for the first week that they were locked down, and then the first week back since the holidays. I kind of left him to it, and he wasn't completing everything but saying he had, and he was submitting things, and then I was getting reports back with the teacher saying, I think you need to add a bit more to this, Kenzie. So I'm going to be a bit more involved, a bit more hands-on. I think he just needs that little bit more guidance, which is fine. I'm happy to do that. I just wasn't sure how much to be involved. And like I said, he was doing it all in the morning before, you know, half the time before I was even up. He was just cracking on with it. But I do think he needs a bit of guidance to help him just extend the work a bit. So I'm happy to work with him on that. I'm waffling now, aren't I? But yes. So he's got 2 pieces to complete tomorrow. We've got this dance thing to work through together tomorrow, which will be a bit of a chore for both of us, but at least he's not having to suffer it on his own. And then whatever is set tomorrow as well. But I'm really pleased with what he's done today, really pleased. Brendan's just been self-studying, which is brilliant. He, you know, seems to know what he's doing. He can't do anything to change his exam grade now anyway, because that's going to be based on predicted grades and work to date anyway. So anything he does now is really just to get on grip, you know, on top of the entire syllabus before the end of the year. And I think he finishes on the 22nd of May anyway, because that's when he would have been starting to revise for exams and stuff. So he's only probably got another month anyway of school. Anything new happening? I haven't watched the news. I've not been watching the latest lockdown briefing, but there is talk of several children now having died of something that they're thinking is potentially linked to COVID-19, called this Kawasaki disease, where it's inflammation of the heart, and then it goes into toxic or inflammation of cells or something, but it leads to toxic shock syndrome and something else. So they get spots on the tongues, their hands go all blotchy. And there's been an increase in children dying from this since COVID came out. So doctors are being made aware and told to, you know, look out for this, which is a bit scary. But another reason not to send them back to school, if you ask me. Boris seems really keen to keep everybody in lockdown, and I do not blame him. While I'm seeing America kind of having shops reopened and things reduced and what have you, I am just watching that with my hand behind, like my head behind my hands, because I don't want to offend people. This is not a political channel, but personally I think Trump is an idiot. That's just my personal view. I don't want to start a big debate. Personally, that's what I feel. And I'm just watching him going, it's all fine, we'll raise lockdown and everything else, from my hands like this, because they're going to have such a big second wave. It worries me. It really worries me. Just seeing how bad Europe have had it, how bad, you know, the second wave in Wuhan, it's just like, no, do not do it. But there's no immediate plans from what I can see for them to change anything with regards to lockdown here. There was talk about schools going back in June. I don't know where people got these ideas from. I don't think it's going to happen. And I've said many times, if it does happen, mine are not going back. They're not. There is no way on God's earth my kids are going back this school year. You can't maintain social distancing on a school bus in a school environment. Possibly, if we're in a position that it looks safe to do so, then I might consider letting Kenzie go in for like an orientation day if they do it, because he will be going from lower school to upper school, and it would be good for him to have the advantage of having seen the site properly and had a tour, but only if they're only sending up the year 9s, and they can do it with social distancing in place rather than having the entire school there. So that's up for debate, really. We'll see. Anyway, I think that's enough waffle. Lee's home, wants a cup of tea, so I'm going to go and make him a nice cup of tea, and I will see you all tomorrow. Thanks very much for watching, and stay safe.